I believe that there's this thing in the back of the brain that is aware of all the clutter we have, interferes with our clarity in life and really focusing time and energy on what's most important, which is our relationships, our self care, our mission, and things like that. We also want to declutter mentally or emotionally. Imagine that we have things that are cluttering up our mind, situations, relationships, things that need to be dealt with, healing that needs to be done. That might require therapy, it might require conversations, it might require taking responsibility for certain things. So I think about those three ways of decluttering or clean slating. If I had a magic wand, I'd work with people on starting that massive process of like, all right, let's first do as much clean slating and decluttering. Then we're going to start creating systems. I talk about systems, mindsets, habits, and routines, but we need certain systems. So we're going to, let's say, clean slate everything in your life. Let's say that you took a couple weeks and you clean slated everything except for the mental and emotional, because that stuff really takes time. But let's say that somehow you actually had 2 weeks to completely clean slate your house, car, workspace, and digital world, and you started on some of the emotional stuff. After that 2 weeks, then we would really start looking at planning your life. You need monthly planning, long-term planning, daily planning, whatever it is. Some of you are great at planning, but some of you maybe are not. These are skills. You need to build systems and skill sets for effective, reliable planning. Relook at how you plan, redesign how you plan, recreate your own planners. But really think about how to plan systems for planning. So I said systems, mindsets, habits, and routines. What systems do you need for physical paper files? What systems do you need for digital files? What systems do you need for password management? What systems do you need for email management? Rebuild all the systems in your life that you need for organizing your desk, your work area, how you organize your clothing, the boxes that you have. You've already decluttered. Now resystematize all of these things that you do have remaining that you do really want and value in your life. And then we have mindsets. So I'd be working with you around, okay, so what are your resistance mindsets and what are your positive I can move forward mindsets? The resistance mindsets are I'm going to resist, I'm going to procrastinate, I'm going to avoid, I'm going to pretend it's not happening, I'm going to deal with it later. This is stupid. Why do I have to do this? This is dumb. I'm stupid. I can't. I'm overwhelmed. I don't know where to start. I'm an executive function coach that help us not execute, that help us avoid execution. So we have mindsets that help us avoid execution and resist. And then we have mindsets that help us to execute or lean in or take action, or mindsets that say, okay, this sucks, but I can do this. It's not as bad as I think. I'm making mountains out of molehills. I can just take a tiny step. What are small things I can do? Who can help me? What resources can give me tips and tricks and ideas? So then we're working with our mindset. So we have, first of all, the mindsets, and then the habits, routines, skills, strategies. So then we say, okay, now I have a system for planning. Now I have a system for organizing. Now I have a system for a monthly calendar. Now I have a system for email. I have to practice using that, building habits around it, building routines around it, because we have a lot of bad habits and routines. But how can I intentionally create routines? How can I make them visual? How can I make myself successful with these routines? How can I build this into my life in the same way? The habits and the routines. It's not going to become a habit until we've created a routine and used the routine for a long time, even bad habits. Believe it or not, we just did it unintentionally, but we actually created routines around bad habits, practice them for a long time, and then they become habits. So the routines become habits. Skills and strategies, we practiced a routine or a skill for a long time, and we now have the skill. We now have the strategy.